This is going to be a video on how to set up a checkout page for your coaching packages inside of Coach Grow Solutions. If you have not already set up your coaching packages, meaning you have not gone to the products, the payments tab over on the left-hand side and set up your coaching package as a new product, I suggest that you go and watch that video first, because then this will make a little bit more sense and you'll be prepared to actually execute on what I'm going to show you in this video. So we've already set up our product. So our next step is to, on the left-hand side, after we log into Coach Grow Solutions, to go ahead and click Sites. This Sites tab houses your funnels, your websites, blog posts, forms, your client portal, all kinds of good stuff. We're going to go ahead and click Website. And even if you do not have a website set up, that is totally fine. You're only going to be building one page today, and one page is all you need to get your 5 paying clients. So in the top right-hand corner, we're going to click New Website. Now, if you already have a website, I want you to click inside of the website that you have. But if not, I want you to click New Website. So let's look and see what New Website looks like. You can choose a template and go that direction. But what is going to be a little easier, at least for the sake of this video, is if you just put in from blank. Now, what happens if you choose from template is that Coach Grow Solutions creates your website and it creates a bunch of pages that you can then go and edit. Because I selected from blank, we landed on a page that looks like what looks like right now, that has no pages on it whatsoever. Okay, so I'm going to click add a new page. And I'm going to name this page Coaching Enrollment. I need to learn how to spell. I'm going to leave path blank, and I'm going to leave import from ClickFunnels blank, and I'm going to hit create a new page. So this is creating a new page on my new website. So it's giving me the option to use existing or create from blank. Use existing means if you've already built a page anywhere else in Coach Grow Solutions and you want to use that page as a template, you can. If not, you can start from blank. I'm going to take you guys through create from blank because this is just a checkout page and it doesn't need to be like overly designed or have a lot of information on it. Because normally when someone comes to a checkout page for your coaching enrollment, they already know who you are because they've met you on a discovery call. And so all they need to know on the coaching enrollment page is what is included in this package, how much is it going to cost me, and maybe just a tiny bit of background on you, like a little bio or something to that effect, right? But this is not a page where people come to straight from social media or, you know, never having met you or never having had a conversation with you before. And so it doesn't have to have as much information on it. If you guys have ever seen coaching enrollment pages that have, they're like super long and they've got 1 million reviews and a lot of copywriting and all that, that's normally because they're going to be cold leads going to that page. A cold lead is someone who doesn't know who you are. Maybe they just saw you on a Facebook ad and they went to that page, or maybe they heard your name on the radio or ran into your podcast or saw, you know, a billboard of you somewhere and they somehow got on your website. And we provide a lot of information for those people. But for people who have already met you in person or met you on a discovery call, they know more about you and more about the vibe, and they've pretty much made the decision whether or not they want to work with you. This is just the last page they land on before they give you their credit card information. So that's why it doesn't have to be super long form or super detailed. Okay. So we're starting from blank. And on the left-hand side, we're going to click full width. And as soon as I click that, that gives me space for me to start building my website. Okay. So inside of this full width, I'm going to click add a row and I'm going to add 1 column. Then I'm going to click add an element and I'm going to add a headline. I'm going to scroll over this orange box and add a subheadline. And that is going to be the header of my checkout page. Okay. Now I'm going to scroll over this green box here and I want another section and I want that to be a full width section as well. And I'm going to add a row in here. And this row is going to be 2 columns. And I'm going to click add an element right here. And I'm going to do a headline. Actually, no, let's delete that. I'm going to do a subheadline. And then on this side, I think I want to put a picture. All right. Then I'm going to scroll over this screen. And I'm going to do one more full width. And I know I'm going kind of fast right now, but I'm actually going to give you guys a link to utilize this exact template so you won't have to do what I'm doing right now. Okay. If you want to, you can, but you don't have to. Then I'm going to put 3 columns here. Now, this section up here is my header section. That's just going to be my introduction line with a subheadline or a tagline about my coaching. Then I'm going to put in here my bio. That's what's going over here on the left-hand side. This is going to be meet your coach, right? And then I'm going to put a little bit about me, and then I'm going to put a picture of me. And then down here is going to be where I actually talk about my coaching packages. So when I add a row right here, I'm going to put a 3 column because I want to showcase 3 coaching packages. Okay. If you want to showcase 2 coaching packages, you can do 2 columns. If you wanted to do 1 coaching package, you would just leave it as 1 column. Okay. So I'm going to add actually below this subheadline here, I'm going to add some paragraph text because I need some space for my bio. I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to fill in this space here because this is where my bio would go if I was going to do a bio, right? But I'm not going to write a whole bio like during this video. So this is my headline, my subheadline. You see how close this is to this? I'm just going to put a space right here just to give it a little bit of like breathing room. I'm going to hover over my image and click. The way that this editing works is that on the left-hand side, you have your preview menu, and on the right-hand side, you have your menu where you can actually make adjustments to things. So if you click something in the left-hand side, the preview window, the options to edit that thing will pop up on the right-hand side. So like if I click this text, you see how this changed over here? Or if I click this text up here, it changed to the headline. See that change? If I click over here, that changed. So anything that you want to hover or edit over here, you'll just scroll over top of it and you'll wait for like a square to pop up. So I'm going to click on this image, and over here on the right hand side, I'm going to scroll down to where it says image options, and I'm going to click this little box here. That's going to open up my media library where I can select pictures. Now, I already have pictures in here, and you actually see I have Jiffies in here too, because I love to use these on my sales pages. And you can upload Jiffies in here as well. They will move just like this on your sales page. I've got my reviews in here as well if you want to upload your reviews, any screenshots of reviews you have. Here is my favorite bio picture. So I'm going to double tap that. Now, if you did not have a bio picture in here, when you click over and you hit upload for media library, whatever picture you have or headshot you have of yourself, you would click upload file here in the top right hand corner, and that would open up the folder on your computer where you can go and find the image of you that you like. Okay. I'm just going to go backwards because mine was already in there. Now you see how big this is? This is like kind of huge for this space. So I'm going to click this, and inside of the width box, I'm going to put in like 300 and see what size that is. I think that's a pretty good size. You may have to try out a couple different sizes. See 200, that's a little big, a little bit smaller. 500 is a little bit bigger. I think 300 is good. Okay. So I'm going to leave that there as my bio, quote unquote, right? And then I'm going to come up here to my headline, and I'm going to put, are you ready for transformation? Now enrolling new one-on-one coaching clients. Bam. Okay. So there's my headline, bio, all that kind of good stuff. All right. Make sure you're hitting save in between this because it doesn't auto save. So you have to make sure that you hit save. Okay. Now down here is where my 3 coaching packages are going to be. So I'm going to click add element in this box, and I'm going to click sub headline because I don't want my headline to be too big. So I'm going to give each of these boxes a sub headline. And that's going to be my, let's see, 4 sessions, 6 sessions, 12 sessions. Okay, so we've got our sessions there. Then I'm going to hover over this orange and I'm going to actually add headline, which is like the bigger text. And I'm going to put my pricing right here. So I'm going to put, if my 4 sessions, let's see, if I'm charging $125 an hour, 4 sessions would be 500. So I'm just going to put $4.99. I'm going to hit that orange button, do headline, and 6 sessions would be $750. So I'm going to put $749. And 12 sessions would be $1,500. So I'm going to put $1,499. Okay. So there's my pricing. Now I actually want the price to be above the number of sessions. So when I scroll over this orange box, I'm going to put the up arrow and that'll move this up. And I'm actually going to just scroll over and highlight this. And over here on the left-hand side where it says right-hand side where it says font size, I'm gonna change that to like maybe 16. Is that too small? Nope, that's fine. All right, let's highlight that and change that to 16. Make sure that all of these are the same size. Now, this is just my personal preference, but if you wanted the number of sessions to be bigger than the price, then you could do that as well. Because sometimes in some psychologies, they say to make the price smaller so that people think it's smaller. So then even if it's not, it's still $499, right? So let's say if I change this to 16 and I change this back to like, let's see, 30, that's a little too big. I'm gonna change it to 28. So some psychologists, business psychologists will tell you to do it this way instead of this way. But honestly, it's up to you however you want to do it, right? So let's say if I wanted to, let's make this all look the same. Now I'm about to do something advanced so that I don't have to edit every single thing. I'm just gonna hover over the purple box because that's my column, and I'm gonna duplicate that column twice so I don't have to go back and edit everything. Don't overthink what I just did. Okay. 6 sessions, 12 sessions. This was what, $749? And this was, I believe, $1,499, $1,500. Okay, so we've got 3 coaching packages here. Then I am going to add the next thing I'm going to add is, I'm going to hover over this orange, and I'm going to add a bullet list that shows what's included in this package, okay? So let's just say if it's one-on-one coaching via Zoom, access to coaching replays, homework and life application tools. And maybe I have like some guided meditations, maybe like email accountability access Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. EST to 5 p.m. EST, right? So let's say if that was what was included in my coaching package. I didn't spell accountability right. There we go. Okay. And I'm actually going to make this smaller because you see how the spacing is weird? Let's see if we can get that down to 1 line. There we go. That's fine. Okay. So I have my checklist now. I actually want to see if, let's put some spacing. Letter spacing? No. Font size? No. Where's my spacing? Let me go over to advanced. I'm looking for spacing and with line spacing. So I clicked it over here. Let's see if it appears. Hold on. Okay, so I clicked over here, and then on this side, I'm gonna hit advanced because I didn't see line height in the general area. So I hit advanced to see what other options were available, and there's the line height. So I'm just gonna make it, there we go. So now we've got some spacing. It's just a little bit easier to read. And I'm actually gonna take out this accountability because I want this to all fit on one line there. So now this looks a lot cleaner than it did before, and that's kind of what I was going for, okay? So when I go back to general, you also have the option to change like the color of these icons and what this icon looks like, and I want to show you how to do that. So on the left-hand side, when I click, if I scroll down over here on the right-hand side, there it says icon. So you can click to select your icon, and there's a lot of different things that you can select. Most often I use the check mark, which is what it automatically gives you. But sometimes I like to use the check mark that looks a little different. So if you want to use like a square one, you can click square and it'll update over here. If you wanted to use a circle one, you could click circle and it will update over here. So just depending on like what you want the vibe to look like, okay? You can also change the icon color. So that's right here. If you want to change it to maybe like green or something like that, that gives it a little bit more personality. And we're about to give this entire page a little bit of personality in just a second. But I'm going to, because I like the way this looks, and I don't want to have to retype all this all over again for each of these purple columns, I'm going to hover over just this section right here. If y'all hear the dog in the background, I'm so sorry. The lawn is being mowed. So I'm going to click these little two squares right here, and that's actually going to duplicate what we just created. So now it's duplicated, and I'm going to click these little four outward arrows, and I'm just going to drag it over here. To pop up under my 6 session area. Now my price is all out of whack, so I'm going to click on my price and hit the up arrow just to move it back up to the top. And I'm going to do that same thing again. So I'm going to scroll over the bullet point section. I'm going to hit these two overlapping squares to duplicate the exact same thing. And then I'm going to scroll over the area that I duplicated, and I'm going to drag these squares over to where it belongs. And that blue line is popping up. That blue line is popping up to tell me like where this section is going to drop at. But of course, you can always like rearrange it. You just have to hover over it, click the 4 squares that are pointing outwards, and drag it to where it's supposed to go. Okay. So these packages all offer the same thing. The only difference between the packages is the number of sessions. So that's why the list is exactly the same. Okay. I'm going to hit save. Now let's do the important part. Let's link these packages and these pay buttons to the product that we created in the other video, okay? So I'm gonna scroll under this orange section, and I'm going to hit the plus button, and I'm gonna add a button here. And you see it automatically changes itself to a click to sign up button. It makes the button green. If you want to change the color of the button, you can click the button over here on the left hand side, and on the right hand side, the options to edit will appear. So I can change the background color here. If you want to add your actual like custom brand colors, if you have custom brand colors that you have in Canva somewhere, then you can click didn't find your color, add a custom one, and that will pop up a window where you can actually type in the color code that Canva gives you, and you can use your exact brand colors. I highly recommend to use your exact brand colors. If you don't, I would stick with using this green because this green is actually this shade of green because they've done a lot of research on what colors buttons people actually respond to. And so this green, this blue, and this red right here is going to increase your conversion rate. So if you don't have a brand color, I would recommend just going with, you know, what is automatically selected. So I'm just going to hit cancel because I'm going to leave it as that. All right. Now, if you want this button to be like a little smaller, if you want it to be smaller, then you can go over to themes here and you can look at some different options. Like if you want it to look a little 3D or, have a drop shadow, you can do that as well. But that gives you those options there. So here's what's important. We've got this button over here on the left-hand side. Let's scroll down over here on the right-hand side and all the way down to the bottom where it says button actions. And right now, the link is set to open a pop-up, okay? This is going to be the easiest way to do this. I would leave this as set to link to open a pop-up. You have other options here if you want to type in like the product or the email, like SMS membership, like you can change it, but the easiest is going to be a pop-up, and I'm about to show you why. But let's go ahead and duplicate this button and put it on each section. And if you want to change what it says, like how it says click to sign up, that's right here in text options. So I can change this to enroll today, which is actually what I use. That's why it popped up when I typed it in. I'm going to duplicate this 2 times, and I'm going to drag this to each section. All of these are going to open the pop-up, but I wanted to make sure that each section has its own button so that people know, regardless of what payment option they're going for, it's all going to be available on this page, okay? So I'm going to hit save to make sure we have that saved. Now, if you want to write anything additional outside of this checklist, you can add it into this coaching section right here. Like you can just put a space in here and maybe talk a little bit about what's included in the packages if you want to explain more. But normally after someone has talked to you on a discovery call, they pretty much know, like they already are clear of what their issues are and what you guys are going to be working on together. And so you don't have to put that all in here. But if you want to put it in here, like specific names of worksheets, specific exercises that you go through, you can list it in here. Okay. So we've got our 3 sections. Let's make this look a little more colorful, right? So we've got 3 sections here. We've got this one section. You see that green box that popped up with our pricing. We have this mid section. Let me scroll to the green area that includes our bio and a little bit about us. And then we have this header section, okay? So I'm going to scroll over to this midsection until I see the green box that highlights the full width of this section. And I'm going to hit the settings on this box. When I hit the settings on this box, that brings up the area on the right-hand side where I can change the background color. So I am going to go to add just like a super light, and I like to do like super light background colors. So I'm going to go to my brand colors are like blue. So I'm going to go find like a blue, and I'm going to come all the way over here on the left-hand side, and I'm going to get as light as possible, but I still want it to be blue. I don't want it to be purple, but I'm going to get it as light as I can. Like you see how light that is? And then I'm going to click add a color. And you see my background is now blue. So now my actual page has a little bit more like character to it, right? Like it's looking like a real checkout page. And then I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to, now you can add the same color. Once you start adding colors, it will save your color. So you can add the same color, or you could even go like a different, like that's a little bit too dark, right? This has a little bit of like a pale tint to it. That's nice. Okay, that gives it a little bit of character. I'm going to hit save. And then up here at the top, normally in my header, what I do is I either do like a super like dark color because it grabs attention, or sometimes I'll even do like an image in the background. So if you click just in the general background area and that green box is highlighted, over here on the right-hand side, you can click background color and do like a darker color to give it some contrast. I don't like that. That's a little better, but it's not the best, right? So now our page actually like looks like something. Or I could even go here to media, and hit the image icon and find me like a nice little image for the background. And I have some generic like stock photo images in here already. So I have that like nice little background. And what I would do is I would go all the way down to the bottom and I would change the background opacity to a heavy fade. Okay. Now I'm gonna change this background color to black. And instead of heavy fade, I'm gonna do a half fade. Okay. So now this is getting some character. Now this is a little like not the right color now that that background's black. So I'm going to click on this and this is bold text. So I'm going to change anything that's bold text. I'm going to change it to white. And then I'm going to change this regular text color to white as well. And I'm going to hit save. Okay. So now we got an enrollment page. We got an enrollment page. There's one more thing we got to do. We got to make sure this is connected to payment and it works. So remember, we selected these buttons and the action on these buttons, and I'm just going to click it to show you again, is when someone clicks this button, link to open the pop-up. Okay. So let's go up here in our top menu and we're going to scroll over till we get to the pop-up window, which is this little icon right here. Now, right now, our pop-up is blank. So we want to make sure that we add a checkout to this pop-up. So we're going to hit the plus button in the middle of this pop-up. We're going to add just one regular column, and then we're going to add an element. And on the left-hand side, when we click add an element, it pops up to all the elements we could possibly add. And we're going to put in a one-step order, okay? That means that the person's going to fill out their name, phone number, address. They're going to pick their payment plan, and it's going to be there. Now, this is automatically showing me a price of $99 because it's just showing us a preview. It doesn't really know what our product is in the edit window. It's just showing us what this is going to look like when someone goes to order. Now, what I like to do is I like to change this where it says shipping in your info. So when we click this on the left-hand side, it's going to pop up a one-step order. And I'm going to click advanced and scroll to the top, okay? I'm just going to backspace right here. I just wanted to say your info because I don't want people to get confused on whether I'm shipping them something or not, because I'm not shipping them something because this is coaching. So I'm just going to put in like your information, and on the subheadline, I'm just going to put you are one step closer to transformation, right? And what you'll want to do, honestly, is start going to other coaches' websites and seeing what their checkout page looks like. Then you can decide what works for you and what doesn't. I like to get rid of the company name. So instead of show company name, I put hide because most of the time these are people that don't have a business. They're just regular people. I do want to make sure I have their email address. I like to have people's phone numbers just to set phone number reminders. If you don't want to have that, you can choose to hide it. If you've got international clients, I would hide this. My international clients always have a hard time getting through the checkout form in the when the phone number is up like that. But most of the time, my international clients will check their email. So it's fine to just have their email, not their phone number. So it's showing shipping, but of course, I don't want this to say shipping. Well, this can say shipping because everyone knows for your credit card or your debit card, most of the time you have a shipping and a billing address, and it may not be the same. So you can leave that to say shipping if you want to. Okay. So we're going to hit save because our pop-up is done, and we're going to hit publish. And when I hit publish, now this is my first time hitting publish this entire video. So the first time you hit publish, it's going to take you to this pop-up and it's going to ask you, what domain do you want to connect this to? Okay. And your domains that you have connected, that you connected during your tech call should pop up here. And so I'm going to go ahead and select my website, which is iamcoachkmarie.com. And I'm going to hit save. And then it's loading right here and it's going to give me a confirmation when it's done. Boom, it's published. Okay. Now I'm going to hit the back button up here. and we are going to go backwards, back to where we went to create our website. Loading, loading, loading. Okay, I'm actually going to hit refresh here to just go ahead and refresh this. Come on, internet. Now, if your internet goes into a continuous load like this, you may just need to enter it coachgrowsolutions.com. All right, so here we are back on this page. You see that we have our new page is now set up. It's showing us a preview of what we just built. I'm going to click this drop down menu. I'm sorry, I'm going to click the three dots up here in the top right hand corner, and I'm going to click on products. So we need to add our product to this page so that when the funnel, I'm sorry, so that when people click the enroll button and they go to the pop up, the product is actually there. Okay. So we're going to click add a product here, and we've already created our product in the other video. So we're going to go to our drop down menu and select our product. We're going to select our price, and we're going to hit save. You will need to do this process for each of your price points. Okay, so we've got our pay in full price point there. I'm going to go back and click add product. I'm going to go back to 6 sessions. I'm going to add the payment plan option, and I'm going to click save. Because the options you add here in this list are the options that the person is going to be presented with when they're ready to check out. So I'm going to go ahead back to products, and I'm going to add my couples pricing as well. And then I'm going to hit save. Okay, so now I have all of my pricing options there. They are attached to this specific page. Okay, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to click pages. And I'm going to hit this outward arrow button that's going to show me a preview of what my page looks like to other people. And this link up here in the search bar or the website bar is the link that you are going to share with your client. So here is the page that we just built. And we're going to click this button down here. And you see when it pops up, they can put in all of their information and then they can choose their sessions. Now, they can choose which one they want, It does give them the option to choose more than one, but they shouldn't. They're just going to choose, not probably, they are going to choose the one that applies to them. Okay. And then they're going to enter their information in and hit complete order. All right. Now, the only thing that I forgot to do that you might want to do is you want to make sure that you write what the different prices are. You see how we can't see, like, well, somebody may come in here and say, well, what's the difference in between this monthly price with 6 sessions and this monthly price with 6 sessions, right? So if they went through a discovery call, they already know, like, one is couples pricing and one is not. But what you'll want to do is go back to your Coach Growth Solutions, and mine literally just kicked me out. Probably because I have too many windows open in my other windows. But you're going to go back to your Coach Growth Solutions, and when you add in the price, you'll notice that there's an area that asks you for a price text override, and that's where you're going to write in like couples only or not couples only. But most people aren't going to ask that question because they've already gotten their pricing on the phone from you. And so since you've already told them what their pricing is on the phone, they're going to know which one of these to select. Okay. All right. That